Would you like another sauce? And he's gonna be our speaker. I can do that, but this gives me a good chance to go ahead and let Dick get started, because then we can talk until about 10:30.
That one, they know exactly what you got.
Yeah.
The only way you can cheat is by holding on to something all the time you're on.
All right.
Have your walker
Okay,
over
so,
so you
let-
weigh a little less than this.
I'll go ahead and introduce our friend, who's well known to us, but we're also going to say he was willing to come and share his expertise with us. I'll take it. But, so you all know Dick Boucher, our nearest peers, but Dick has this wonderful metal working hobby, and he said that he would be, that he would be willing to come and share his expertise in his hobby making. He's even said that once we get over to the Pearly School and we set up our own senior center, he'd be willing to lead a group. I'm already working. So, Mark, thank you very much for being willing to come on and speak to us, and thank you, Charlie, for taping, and it's really just so good to see all of you. But we'll take July off for our men's breakfast, but we'll be back then for August. And I don't know who will speak just yet, but we'll have somebody, so.
I'll be back too.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you. It's always nice to be able to have this little, this time. It's sort of our June men's breakfast. Our Father's Day celebration of everybody. It's what you provide us all in our lives, and we really appreciate all of you and what you give us on a daily basis. So, let Dick start talking, so that maybe you can have some more questions.
The expertise thing scares me.
Not at all.
Anyway, been a hobbyist all my life. And I think it's got something to do with the fact that I can't throw a football, I can't catch a baseball, and it's led me to the point where I don't care if the Red Sox don't win the pennant this year, or if the, what's that other team that plays in Boston? Patriots, yeah. What do they go for, the World Cup or something? Or the Celtics don't get into the Final Four? It's amazing how relaxed I am at those periods of time. Other people don't. Some people go destroy a city just because they won it, and destroy it just because they lost it. So it's my hobbyist, and the hobby began really young. I grew up in Merrimack, and a fellow by the name of Lockwood had a little dime store down there on Church Street, and he kept a supply of model airplane kits on the shelf. Boy, every time I get some money, I'd go get a kit, Some flew, some didn't, some got finished, some didn't. One of the things that I learned real early was patience. I was working on one of the model airplane kits. I'm trying to get the tail end of the fuselage to stick together. We used ambroid glue then, and I'd hold it for 10 minutes, and I'd let it go, and it would pull apart. I put some more glue on. Finally, I got frustrated. I just crushed the thing. And I sat there and I said, well, that wasn't very smart, was it? So at that point, I really learned, job isn't going right, set it aside, come back later. And one of the things that I amazingly do is I work on this with a fever pitch for a month. And I get tired of it. So I go work on something else. And sooner or later, some things do begin to get together, come together here. I've already had an offer this morning on my drill press, which is a model of an 1800 era. There is a drill in it, and if I put power to it, it would drill. And then this company, these are kits. The company has a complete machine shop. I got their catalog over here. This is a shaper. I don't know if any of you remember shapers, but when I was an apprentice, we used shapers. So that was a kit. We just have fun doing little detail work on, you know, the stuff that comes and goes. Little clapper box moves up and down, everything works. And I work on it for a while. My eyes get tired, put it aside. This is the first locomotive I built and got running. It's almost 40 years old right now, and it's in dire need of serious repair. The boiler started leaking on me, and the engine's worn out. That's a picture of my 47-year-old son when I built it.
Wow.
This is a picture of my grandson a couple of years ago. I'm going to pass him around because I want you to observe. This may have been posed. It's too long ago. I can't swear that that was candid. This was candid. But I want you to notice where their hands are on this engine here. And this is a picture of a young chap from our church running it over in Oxford. So I'll pass that around too so you can see that. All my engines run. This was the first one I ever started building. And it was in April 1961, Popular Science. Now, all these old plans from Popular Science are still available on the internet. People have scanned them in and got them out there, so.
On your screen.
This pack was done, the red to here, flywheel was on it. The flywheel was a donation from Harold Rota's company. That's the bull gear wheel out of a 10-inch fire alarm gone. Some teeth had been stripped off, so I could junk it, so I
Pass it
put
to
the
you, 'cause
flywheel
I
on.
can't
It was
reach
finished
down that
up
far.
to here just a few years ago. And the plans show a brake fluid can. Now, I don't know how many of you have had to put brake fluid in a car recently. They're plastic bottles now, they're not metal cans. It was up at Clark's, and the Wolfman came into the shop, says the brakes are fading. Dave Clark takes this metal brake fluid can, pours the rest of it into the Wolfman's car, throws it in the barrel, and it hadn't stopped rattling. He says, Dave, I got a use for that. So I got to finish this engine after many, many years. It's a hot air engine, Stirling cycle. With a little fire in here. I use Sterno. I'd run it here, but I'd probably touch off the sprinkler system. But it was a method of creating power in farms. They built water pumping engines that would pump the water out of the well into a tank, and they used that for the farm household water system. So that was a popular system. Yeah, my mine engine. This was a kit. This is a kit. These are kits. This is all scratch built, all from bar stock laying around the shop. That was casting set. This one was totally scratch built. The engine, the boiler. It's an oscillating engine. Again, a little Sterno fuel in this, some water in the tank, and that runs. This is a kit from PM Research, oscillating engine. I think this one runs. All right, so don't tell me I'm not full of hot air, fellas. That one, Comes as a kit. Fabulous instructions for building it. All the parts you need, the nuts, bolts, and everything are there. So, take a look at that. And then PM Research, they kind of sound like my favorite people. I got all this plumbing, these two kits come from them. And I finally get sick and tired of not having them run. This is well on its way. This would run right now if I put some air to it. But the other thing PM Research does is they sell completely machine kits. If anybody wants to have one of these engines, all you gotta do is file it up, paint it, and assemble it. Now the reason I've got this, I won it at one of the shows I was in. And I've been to 4 shows so far this year with this display. I've been to our show at the Boot Mill in Lowell in February. And then we journeyed down to York, Pennsylvania for one they call Cabin Fever. And then up to Owl's Head, Maine for the Owl's Head Model Show. And then over here to Dunstable to an outside show where we start running the big gas engines and so forth. We have a blast. But anyhow, yeah, if somebody wants to just have one as a wall dresser, there's your machine kit. Just put it together with a screwdriver. Now, one of the things that's happened to me, I've got a full machine shop, and I've built up over the years just to do the hobby in. And I'm realizing, you know, I need these machines in there by myself. And I'm gonna need a mill right now to get them out of there, because I just don't have that strength anymore. So I've decided, oh, let me talk about one other thing. Any of you ever been over to the, go blank?
Welcome to the crowd.
Yeah. Camp Dennison.
Yeah.
Have you seen Stu's biplane that he built? How old was that, Stu?
Built that 40 years ago.
40 years ago. And his daughter still stands there and is so proud to talk about that thing when he has it over there. But Stu was,
It's got a
Stu, I think,
got a 3-horse Briggs in it.
yeah.
You can taxi along about 8 miles an hour.
All right.
Tail wheel steering and so
It's
forth.
fabulous.
Full instrument panel.
So, I tell you, you gotta see that thing. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
There's a lot of parts there, Rob.
So anyhow, one other engine.
You'll see it.
This is the first one I ever started and finished
Pictures of my grandson.
in one pass. This came on the front cover of one of our model magazines, and I just had to have that. That's all scratch built. It's just pieces of brass and so forth.
Oh, shit.
And it's another runner.
Yeah.
They're really, I did bring the air, but I don't have time to set it all up and run. All of them run. So now on that thought that I'm getting, you know, this is getting heavy. It's not done yet. Well, let me talk about this for a minute. These live steam locomotives actually have boilers in them. And if you are familiar with boilers, these are built just like the real boilers. There's a firebox, girders, stays, and this will hold 90 pounds per square inch of steam to run this locomotive with. This locomotive was designed by a fellow who lived in Byfield, Charlie Purinton. Charlie since passed away, but there were 4 other guys who used to come to my shop every Monday night. And for 6 years, we, as a group, built the parts. And then when our son got sick, I says, guys, our next couple of years is going to be so taken up that, you know, we'll have to break this up. One of the guys has finished. One of the guys isn't interested anymore, and 2 others are still working on it. But now Michael's better, so maybe I'll get them back over my place Monday night. But, like I say, what's happened is, my goodness, look how light this is. How much less tools it takes to build. So I've joined the Merrimack Valley Shipbuilding Club down in Newburyport. And I've started building model boats.
Are they gonna be steam operated?
There is one on the ways, as they say, that will have a steam engine very similar to this in it. And again, I think if I were at school today, they'd have me with an IEP, I'd have all kinds of special classes. I get distracted easy, you know, working on this. Yeah, I think I'll work on this tonight. And right now, there's a push on to finish what they call a popcorn engine. It was in the old popcorn carts that had a little boiler, and the engine would turn the basket, pop in the corn, and I just work on that for a little while. So like all hobbies, we have our publications. Oh, here's one I built. This is the son and the grandson that were in the other picture there. A little electric locomotive that they can just go down the track and the grandchildren can run it. They have a blast. But, for the metalworking, there's been model engineer out of England since the 1800s. And every 2 weeks this has been published. And they have plans in here and articles. And then live steam is now called live steam outdoor railroads, I think it is. Because there just aren't guys building this stuff anymore. They're buying a diesel and going running on the tracks.
Electric train.
And they'll run all day long
Boxcar.
and enjoy that. And this one lasted quite a few years, but it's now defunct. Model Tech, that's where I got the plans for this engine.
They actually can sit on a flat car.
If you page through it,
Locomotive is pulling, they're large enough for
it's a
that.
pretty good representation
Yeah,
of
yeah.
what we do as hobbyists. And there was a publication years ago for the American Flyer S-Gauge people. It was called the S-Gauge Herald, and their masthead said, "Information not shared is useless." And that's one of the things I've tried to go by. Oh, yeah. In the live steam hobby, this fellow Kozo published, I think there's 4 of them now, he's working on the 5th one, on how to build these live steam locomotives. Just totally detailed, how to make the setups of the machine, and
See better now?
No.
teaches you silver soldering and everything. I've got 4 running, there's a 5th one on the way. Then we move over to the shipbuilding, we're gonna start building another library. So there's a number of books out that I've picked up so far. This one's about the best I've found so far for the whole thing. And so, that's the story of my life. That's what keeps me out of trouble. My wife loves it. She says anytime I go looking for him, I know where he is. Most of the time. When I'm not there, I'm out in the barn. And
This is the reason you don't get much done. You have to, when the mail comes in, all these catalogs, you gotta read
well,
them
you'd be
tomorrow.
amazed. I've stopped subscribing to all of them. I just got enough information now. I don't. So, our shipbuilding club is holding a show at the Universalist Unitarian Church down in Newburyport, Yankee Homecoming Week. So we're gonna fill a room about the
That's in
size of
July.
this. Huh?
That's in July?
Yeah, lasted July 1st of August.
Two of them.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Here's that PM research catalog. If you want. Let's see what that is. Have you got any questions? I hope. Take up the full 2 hours I had planned to take up.
That's just a cutaway, Dick?
Yeah, it's just an exploded view, Stu. It shows you where to put all the little pieces. That's the quality of the drawings that
Not
come
bad
through.
price either.
That may be a little old,
Okay.
but
Neat, though. I done a cutaway of a Briggs one time,
of a who?
3-horse Briggs.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, real good. They had a cutaway of a V-40 or a 4360 aircraft in there.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, down at Chinook Air Force Base, you talk about a cutaway. It's four banks of 9 cylinders.
Right, yeah. They used to
Four
have, like,
thousand 360 cubic inch.
they used to have the full-size engine in the Museum of Science in Boston,
The
in a cutaway.
4360?
So you can see all 4 banks.
Yeah, yeah, the
I
monster.
think maybe that is up at Owl's Head now.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think I saw it up there.
Because when they got a big diesel that they start up, I got it on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh.
monster.
Have you seen the one of the steam tractors in England? Gigantic, I think was the name of it.
Big flywheel and all that.
Well, it's got the big flywheels, but they're coming around, they've got a steam engine, a trailer with a whole tractor on it, and another steam engine taking up the rear, and they're coming around a roundabout, what we call a rotary.
Yeah.
And that poor guy in the lead engine, he's flipping that hand wheel trying to get that, then it gets in there and the front wheel starts bouncing as it's taking the load up on the rear wheels. It's quite a video.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of folks around town think I'm into trains, and it's really trains, planes, and automobiles. I just,
Not a cheap hobby though, is it?
well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was part of what I wanted to mention. It is. It really is. I don't think I've got enough money on this table to represent taking my family to a ball game. All right?
Today? Yeah.
Today, yeah. You know, it's, and the machine tools will always have a value to them. It's gone down quite a bit in recent years, but there's still value, so whatever I've spent there, I don't feel as though it was a loss. And, yeah, when I see what they're, when I was bringing Michael into Dana-Farber on a baseball day, we'd drive by one of the little gas stations there, and parking $50. Huh, wow. What was the price on that kit, Stu, that you noticed?
Yeah, 125.
$125. It's probably not a heck of a lot higher than that now. But yeah,
I went that run down in Connecticut, and you go into trains and you see the old locomotives, they're rebuilding them down there.
yeah,
And then you get into a ferry, a steam ferry,
yeah.
that goes up the river, and a bridge opens up, a little 3 horsepower bridge and Stratton engine. It opens up a
Yeah,
bridge,
yeah.
and you go under it, and then you turn around and come on back, and then you go over
The
the
Essex
bridge.
Railroad?
Well, yeah,
Essex Railroad.
yeah, I
okay.
think that's it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's the place, Essex.
yeah. Yeah, I've never been there. I've stopped
Well,
at
hey, you
Team
should go,
Steam
you
Town a
like it.
couple times, but I'm not a traveler.
I went with, on a bus, that took it
Oh,
down,
yeah.
you know, the tour thing.
Yeah. Gary,
You know,
Not so much, Bob, on the model builders, but what were the different aspects of the steam engine? Because I know we all, I think, probably relate them more to the trains.
the
But they
locomotive.
used them, I know, like you mentioned, the pump, I know they used them sometimes to pump out, was it water in mine shafts and things like that?
That's where it began. That
Really?
was the first use of the steam engine. Watt was trying to get the mine shafts in Wales empty. And his was actually an atmospheric engine. He'd spray steam above the piston, shoot water in on it, condense it, create a vacuum, and that would pull the piston up. And then one of the things is all kinds of valve gears. A lot of the steam industry was just trying to circumvent somebody else's patent. And the valve gear is to distribute the steam evenly. Steam engines are double acting. The power stroke takes place on the back of the piston and on the front of the piston. And the valve controls which end of the engine the steam is going to come into. And the valve gear that moved this all back and forth, it just, all designed new valve gears so they didn't have to pay this guy a, what do they call it?
when you look at it, it's simple.
Huh?
I think it's royalty.
Royalty, that's the word, that's the
Yeah.
word. You didn't have to pay a royalty to somebody else to build an engine, so you designed your own valve gear, and so that's how it all came about. But, yeah, an engine like this, the boiler, the engine, we're run a little woodworking shop.
I was gonna say sawmills and stuff like
Sawmills,
that.
bigger,
Okay.
this would have been a sawmill engine.
Really?
This actually, in reality, is a much bigger engine than this one. But, this engine here would have run a little machine shop that those machines would have been in. The boat had the steam engine. There's a picture, a famous picture in Haverhill of the Merrimack tied up on Water Street. That was a steamboat that used to go down to Newburyport from Haverhill.
It was interesting, I just caught a glimpse of that old movie Jeremiah Johnson.
Yeah,
And yeah, when, I forget who was the old guy, well, anyway, he was telling him to, oh, if you leave a stack of wood down on a riverbank, the steam captains will leave you gold for it.
Yeah.
It was probably true.
oh yeah, that was one of
That's
the
how some of the
things.
woodsmen lived, but.
That was a cottage industry along the rivers, was to leave firewood for the steamboats to pick up and, leave you something for it, whatever you agreed to trade for it. And it was all barter system. And, yeah, it was really quite a thing.
The mills in Lawrence had things, something like that, but
Well, the
someone
mills
told
in
me it was,
Lawrence-
the river, the little
the
river
mills
they
in
took,
Lawrence
they made that
were
control.
water wheels,
Yeah, that's it.
turbines.
That's it, yeah.
Again, the mills started in Waltham on the Charles River. And then they got to the point where they really didn't have enough water in the Charles River anymore, so Lowell moved from Waltham to Lowell and set up his mills up there with the canal system and the big dam.
Yeah.
And a big stone-faced dam in Lawrence,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful thing to look at summer when there's no water going over. And you realize all those big granite blocks that they set and made that dam is really something. Yeah, the Lawrence mills were all run with water too. Davis and Ferber over in North Andover was a steam-powered mill. And they built the mill machinery over there, but that had some fabulous steam engines in the boiler room. And as a matter of fact, I think they're still there. And there had been times that they wanted to make a museum out of that, but I don't know how far that's gotten, like everything else, You can't bring in the money to do it, and you don't really have that much interest in it, it becomes tough. The farmers might have had a steam engine, but it required constant attention. The farmers went more for the make-or-break engines and the hot air pumping engines for their farms. I know back during the energy crisis, everybody says, well, why don't we build steam engines? They're not as efficient as the way you generate your power now, I think of one of we talk about in town here, we're building too many houses, we're driving all the animals out of their habitat. And I just go to the Historical Society, there was a time when you could see Baldpate Hill from my house because there were no trees in the way. All the way it was clear-cut fields. Now the animals have plenty of habitat, that's why they're in our backyards now. They've got the cover to move in on us. But,
No, it's a small car.
yeah, it's been a great hobby for me. And like I say, I'm slowly moving over to the boats just because they take up a lot less space and they're a lot less heavy. And I haven't given up on the machine tools yet, but I figure the day is coming when the wife and I are gonna have to find a smaller quarters to live in, and the shop's gonna have to go bye-bye, so. Any other questions?
Can you have a Ford Taurus? Can you have a Ford Taurus?
No,
No more questions.
Ford Taurus,
no, I got it.
over by the trees?
What are you looking for?
That water power is more than anything.
Bless you. And Dick doesn't.
Well, mine's right there,
I park right out here.
By the trees,
Uh-oh.
but are you a Ford Taurus?
No,
Okay, okay.
down in here.
Okay.
How'd you make out that Dick, when you planked that little rowboat?
the little rowboat, you build them on a farm, just like the real boats.
I built mine, you try to plank that thing, okay?
Yeah,
You're gonna make clamps for it.
well, yeah, you have
Put it
to,
along the stem,
yeah,
I made it, it's a whirligig,
yeah.
I had to make the
Well-
guy, what's tough is, what's tough is trying to convert the rowing action for the guy in the boat to the oars. It's
I never
tough.
got that far.
Yeah,
I never got that far.
he's got good hips, that's why I put it in.
But, is this what you're talking about, Stu?
I was wondering, I thought that thing in the front was a degree wheel.
Yeah, well, it is kind of, but, when I have to work on the bottom of it, I just
Yeah,
roll it over. And,
yeah.
back in the old days.
What's that, a
West
solid piece, Dick?
Huh?
The front of that, is that a solid piece of, aluminum?
Yeah, what the stand is, back in the old days, West Electric, when they junked stuff, they sent it over to Tumbarellas over in Lawrence. You remember Tumbarellas?
Lamparello.
Yeah. And this actually was a stand. The bench hand used to work on a printed wiring board, hand soldering components into the board. So she could flip it to a comfortable position for the work on. So I saw that over at Tom Morello's one Saturday morning after I delivered my load to get rid of. And that was a great place. You go over and make a little money Saturday morning, go over to the other side of the store and buy stuff to bring home. So I saw that and says, gee, that's neat. Maybe I can use that someday. And the someday must have been 40 years later before I finally, you know.
That's why your cellar looks like my cellar.
Yeah, really. And that's why my wife is pushing right now.
Yeah.
Museums call it de-assessing. I have come to the point in my life where a lot of it's got to start finding new loves. My son has told my wife, don't let anybody into the cellar till I get there. So that's the good news in that situation, you know.
Well, I had a boat in the house and the shop.
Yeah.
And I had 3 sets of tools.
Yeah.
Now the kids are running the shop.
Yeah, I've got multiple sets of tools here, there, and everywhere. And the strange thing is, no matter which shop I'm in working, I go to reach for the tool, it isn't there, it's someplace else.
It's there.
Yeah. You know, I've got the chassis for the car, the sports car that my wife and I dated in one room in the house. You know, I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm saying, you know, wow.
Pete's got an old planer over in his barn. I'd like to,
Yeah.
the big monstrous thing, an old engine motor on it.
Yeah.
How wide is that, Pete? That was
20 inch,
20 inch?
20 inch.
Yeah.
Single side?
single
Single
side.
side,
With
square
a-
head, full
With a
blade?
very, very deep throat,
Yeah.
2 horse electric.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big old thing.
Yeah.
Take a look at that.
All you have to do is push the button and away it goes.
Away it goes. Yeah. I'll have to remember that when I get those wide pine boards to do my floor with.
He got the mill.
Yeah? Yeah?
They-
He milled a bunch of cedar for me.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I built a bunch of clocks so that it came
Oh,
up
those companies
My
have
wife still
rockets
loves you
over
very
it.
much.
good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Last year I milled a lot of black walnut too.
Did you really?
Around the time.
Wow.
Just waste some money.
Yeah.
Indiana's, they get a lot of walnut down there.
No, cuts It's unbelievable.
Really? How wide?
Up to 32 inches. Wide, oh, sorry about
That's
that
why I
wide.
sell a walnut tree down there and buy a house.
The wood mice, a bandsaw mill.
Well, I guess if there are no more questions,
Only take a lot
I
of
would like you to just come up.
diameter up to
this
21
stuff is
feet
pretty
long.
solid. Don't pick this one up. This is kind of, well, did you pick anything else up and look at it?
It's a package of,
You know.
to go.
Years ago, they had the big make and break,
Yeah.
used to haul around on wheels.
Yeah.
And used for threshing grain. They have the thresher and then they'd have to have the make and break engine attached to it with a big belt.
I was up on Storrs Hill in Vermont one day. We had a case tractor belted up to a sawmill. And I'll tell you, the tractor was here and the mill was up on the road. And that's the longest belt I've ever seen in my life. Well, it needed its weight to give it traction around the pulleys, both on the engine and the mill.
It crossed the
It was
belt.
crossed, yeah. And every time that saw, the big old board saw, would bite into the log, the governor on the tractor would kick in, noise and the commotion, the smoke comes screaming
Yeah,
up.
you're the death.
Right down through the log, that thing, boy, there was a cold, I think it was an October day, so, you know, the steam was just showing up great. Oh, what a fabulous day that was. So, like I say, come on up and
Well, thank you so
look
much.
this stuff
Dick.
over.
Thank you so much, Dick. Really nice.